The iPhone 12s are now official. So here are not 5, not 10, not 20, but actually 37 things you probably didn't know about the iPhone 12s. So get us next ready, sit back, relax, and let's take a look. Okay, so probably the most important thing that you need to know is that we do not get any headphones or even a charger inside the box of any of these iPhone 12s. Now, I'm not too fussed about the headphones myself. However, in terms of the charger, yes, while most of you already have a lightning charger, very likely, the problem is that most of you probably do not have a fast lightning charger. So if you want to buy one separately, then I've included a link to a really good one below. Otherwise, your iPhone 12s will charge extremely slowly, especially if you have that really old 5-watt charging brick. Now, the second thing is that all of these iPhone models, they all have 5G. So no matter which iPhone you buy, they will all have 5G, and they all have the same speed of 5G of up to 3.5 gigabits per second. And I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but all the iPhone models, they all have this black rectangle on the right-hand side. Now, this is actually for the 5G antenna, and fun fact, we only have this on the US models. So if you buy any of these iPhones from any other region, you would not have that black square on the frame. And yes, in case you're thinking that 5G has limitations in some regions, unfortunately you are correct. So millimeter wave 5G, the true 5G, which can give you speeds of over 1 gigabit per second, that is only available in the US, reason why we have that black rectangle. All the other iPhones sold outside the US, they will only have sub 6 gigahertz 5G, which is about 200 megabits per second. Now here in the UK, I'm already getting about 100 megabits per second on 4G anyways, so in that case 5G isn't really that worth it outside the US. Now, something else I need to know is that these iPhones are considerably thinner than the iPhone 11s from last year. So all of them are exactly 7.4 millimeters thin. Previously, the iPhone 11 Pro Max was 8.1 millimeters, and the iPhone 11 was 8.3. So the iPhone 12 is almost an entire millimeter thinner than the iPhone 11 from last year. Not only that, but these iPhones are also lighter. Well, the iPhone 12 mostly, which is 30 grams lighter than the iPhone 11. That's a massive difference on a smartphone, by the way, definitely noticeable. The iPhone 12 Pro is 1 gram heavier than the 11 Pro was, and the iPhone 12 Pro Max is 2 grams heavier than the 11 Pro Max was. And have you guys noticed that the bezels are also thinner this year? So the iPhone 12 has thinner bezels than the iPhone 11, the iPhone 12 Pros have thinner bezels than the iPhone 11 Pros, and therefore the iPhone 12 Pros, they have thinner bezels than the iPhone 12. Now, something really cool is MagSafe. So this is a new magnetic system on all the iPhone 12 models. Essentially, you have these magnets on the back of these phones, and you can use a MagSafe charger, a wireless charger, just like with the Apple Watch to charge the iPhone. And you also have magnetic cases that automatically snap into place, and you even get attachments such as this magnetic wallet attachment, which can automatically snap onto either the back of the iPhone or the back of one of the cases. How cool is that? Wireless charging is now faster, 15 watts up from 7.5 watts. However, keep in mind that this is not the fastest wireless charging on any phone. The OnePlus 8 Pro has 30 watts wireless charging, which is really impressive. And you should also know that we still get 7.5 watts max via Qi charging. So 15 watts is only achievable via that separate MagSafe wireless charger, which you'll have to buy. Now, third-party MagSafe chargers will be coming pretty soon too. Speaking of chargers, Apple has also released AirPower, finally. Well, kinda. So it's this new charging mat, which actually folds, so that's perfect for traveling, and it also has MagSafe, so you can charge a new iPhone or any Apple Watch for that matter. Something else that you should definitely know is that all the iPhone models this year, they all have OLED displays. Previously, the iPhone 11, it had an LCD panel. And something else that you should know is that they all have the same Super Retina XDR display, which I was not expecting. Like, I was only expecting the Pro models to have this, but no. The non-Pro models also have this high-end Super Retina XDR display that we also had in the iPhone 11 Pros. However, there is one very strange difference between all of these displays, and that is, on all the models, they can go up to 1200 nits of brightness in HDR. However, in terms of the standard brightness that you can manually adjust, that can go up to 800 nits on the Pro models and only 625 on the non-Pro models. Which makes me think that this was actually an intended limitation that was implemented in software only for the non-Pro models to look inferior to the Pro models. And water resistance has been improved even more. So now we get up to 6 meters of depth submersion, up to 30 minutes on all the iPhone 12 models. This is up from 4 meters from last year's iPhone 11 Pros. And most smartphones, keep in mind, most of them only have a 2-meter water resistance or 2.5. These iPhones have 6, so that's significant. But something that you should definitely know is that water damage is not covered under warranty, which is really strange. Like, Apple tells you that, hey, you could submerge these iPhones, they'll be fine. But if you actually do it and they randomly break, which they shouldn't, but if they do, if there's like a manufacturing defect and they do break, Apple would not fix them, unfortunately, for free at least. And something that I was also not expecting is the new glass, a ceramic shield glass. Now, this is not Gorilla Glass Victus or Gorilla Glass 7 like we have on the Note 20 Ultra or the Galaxy Z Fold 2. This is something else. Apple's calling this the most durable glass on a smartphone. We only get this on the front, by the way, not the back, so this is just on the front. And apparently it offers 4 times better drop resistance than the iPhone 11 Pro Maxes and Pros glass. Now, we also get double the baseline storage, 128GB on the iPhone 12 Pros versus 64GB on the iPhone 12s, 12 mini, and the iPhone 11s. And if you need even more storage, then you can get up to 512GB on the Pro models versus 256 on the non-Pro models. Another reason to get a Pros is that we also get more RAM, 6GB of RAM on the Pro models versus 4GB on the non-Pro models. Something that we get on all the iPhone models, though, is night mode on all cameras. So that's all the cameras on the back and the camera on the front, which is interesting. We've had this on Android for a few years now, but it's pretty good to finally see it on the iPhones too. And low light is automatically better on all the iPhones thanks to a larger f1.6 aperture, up from the f1.8 aperture on the iPhone 11s. Now, this is on the main module, and because of this, the cameras can capture 27% more light. Now, we also get something called night portrait mode, which only works on the iPhone 12 Pro models, and that's because we have that LiDAR scanner, and that helps achieving this. So again, that only works on the Pro models. But something that works on all the iPhone models is night mode time-lapse, which creates those really nice long exposure light trail effects. And we also get something called Apple Pro RAW in the native camera app. So it's just RAW mode essentially, but it works on the iPhone 12 Pro models, so 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max. And what it allows you to do is that you can edit those photos afterwards and you can recover a lot of data. Like when I'm taking photos, especially for Instagram on my iPhone, I always use RAW, but I had to use a third-party app. Now you can basically do that in the native camera app, which is pretty awesome. Okay, so let's talk about cameras for a second. So between the iPhone 12 mini and the iPhone 12, are there any camera differences? And the answer is no, they have the exact same cameras. No matter which one you get, you will have the same camera experience. So what about the iPhone 12 mini versus the iPhone 12 Pro? Well, the 12 Pro has a telephoto module up to 2x zoom. It also has night mode portraits, Apple Pro RAW, Dolby Vision HDR video up to 60 frames per second, which is super scammy because these ones, the 12 and the 12 mini, can also do that, but at 30 frames per second, even though they have the same processor, so that's actually capped in software on the non-Pro iPhones. The 12 Pro also offers you 6 times faster autofocus in low light compared to the non-Pro iPhones. And then we also have deep fusion, so sharper images on all photos taken with all the lenses of the iPhone Pros, which again is super scammy because they have the same processor, this is a software thing, and this is disabled on the iPhone, on the non-12 Pro iPhones. So now what about the iPhone 12 Pro versus the iPhone 12 Pro Max's camera? Well, this is actually where we finally get to see some pretty big differences. So we have 2.5x zoom on the Pro Max versus 2x zoom on the Pro. We also have a f2.2 aperture module telephoto on the Pro Max versus f2.0. So interesting enough, the regular Pro is actually better in low light with a telephoto module than the Pro Max. Now the 12 Pro Max though, it does have a 47% larger sensor, the main sensor, than the 11 Pro Max. What this means is that this will be 87% better in low light on the main module when compared to even the standard 12 Pro. On the 12 Pro Max, you can take up to a 2-second exposure handheld, which is pretty nuts. And the 12 Pro Max also features sensor shift on the main module, so the sensor is also stabilized, not just the lens. We still don't have any optical image stabilization on the ultra-wide angle modules, unfortunately. So long story short, the iPhone 12 Pro Max has the best camera on the iPhone 12 line. And the Pro has a bit of a better camera than the standard 12, but if you really want the best camera, then definitely go for the 12 Pro Max. Now, if you went on Apple's website, you'll probably see something like this. The 12 Pro offers 4 times optical zoom range. The 12 Pro Max offers 5x optical zoom range. Now that's super scammy because they're talking about the zoom range and not just the optical zoom. So that means from the ultra-wide angle module up until the maximum telephoto. Realistically, this is just 2x zoom, this is 2.5. Now let's talk about that LiDAR module for a second. So it will allow you to scan objects and even rooms very accurately. It will improve the AR experience, and again, it will help when focusing in low light. So that's pretty much what the LiDAR module will be doing. Now there's also a few differences in terms of the frame. So the non-Pro iPhones, they have an aluminum frame, whereas the Pro models of the iPhone, they have a stainless steel shiny frame. Personally, I think I do prefer the aluminum frame. It's just more matte. I do like that more, especially the Black 12. I think that looks amazing. Now, the back materials are also a bit different. So on the iPhone 12 mini and the iPhone 12, we have a glass back and a frosted glass camera module, whereas on the iPhone 12 Pros, we have this basically reversed. So we have a frosted glass back and a glass camera module. And the iPhone 12 has a significantly higher resolution than the iPhone 11 from last year. So we have 2532 by 1170 on the iPhone 12 versus 1792 by 828 on the iPhone 11. So that means 460 ppi versus 326, a pretty significant difference. So yeah, the iPhone 12 is a major upgrade over the iPhone 11 from last year. The Pros, not so much. Interesting enough, we also get this cover view case similar to the ones that Samsung sells. But I think this is worse. Like, you only get a very small cutout for the time. I'm assuming you can also answer calls, judging by the cutout for the proximity sensor. And is the Apple letter case gone? Like, I couldn't find any specific letter case for the iPhone 12s on Apple's website. I'm not sure if they'll be adding that at a later point in time, but at the moment, it's not anywhere on Apple's website. Now, Apple has dropped the price of their USB Type-C charger, so now it's a 20-watt charger, up from the 18-watt charger that we had last year, so a bit more powerful, and it's $19 now, down from $29 that we had last year. Now, let's talk about prices for a second in the UK first. So the iPhone 11 from last year, that cost £730. The iPhone 12 from this year is $800, so that's a pretty significant price bump. Now, the iPhone 12 Pro, that's still £1,050, and the iPhone 12 Pro Max is now £1,100, down from $1,150, so that's actually a bit less expensive. In the US, the iPhone 11 used to cost $700, the iPhone 12 is $830. If you buy it unlocked, if you buy it from a carrier, it's $800, but still, this is a pretty significant price increase. The iPhone 12 Pro is the same as the 11 Pro, so $999, and the iPhone 12 Pro Max is the same as the 11 Pro Max, which is $1099. And finally, I just want to mention that I don't think the iPhone 12 Pro is worth it over the standard iPhone 12. Like, you're paying $200 more or £250 more in the UK, which is quite significant, and all you're getting is a slightly brighter display, a stainless steel frame, which most people won't care about, a frosted glass back, which again, most people won't care about, a telephoto module, Apple Pro RAW, which again, most people won't care about, LiDAR for faster autofocus at night mode portrait, and 2 extra gigabytes of RAM and double the storage, which I think that's really the only thing that people would care about, double the storage on the baseline, 128 versus 64. But that's it. But anyway, that's pretty much it for now. Thank you for watching. Definitely subscribe. If you want to see more iPhone 12 related content, we have loads of cool upcoming videos in the next few days, so definitely stay tuned for those. Other than that, like I said, this was pretty much it. So thank you for watching. I'm Daniel. This has been Zen of Tech, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Zen of Tech, signing out. Cheers.